Hello and welcome back to Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3 and Pseudo Gameplay TV. I'm your host Pseudo. Today we're looking back into the character spotlight series we've started, and the next character on the list is none other than Captain America, everyone's favorite star-spangled soldier. So we're all familiar with who Captain America is. A couple of real quick traits about him is that he obtained his abilities through the application of a super soldier serum, which allows him peaked human strength, speed, durability, agility, reflexes, senses, and mental processing, as well as some accelerated healing. And apart from his standard abilities of being a superhero, he also is a master martial artist and hand-to-hand combatant, as well as a master tactician, strategist, and field commander. And we do see that reflected in some of his attacks that he is able to use here in-game. So just a brief look into his character description will give us an idea of what those attacks are, and then we'll go ahead and see them in action in one of the Infinity Rifts in-game. So the first one that we have is the Shield Dash, which allows him to crash into opponents and sends, or as the game describes, sends the character rushing forward to deal shield damage, and you can hold the button to charge it, similar to other attacks that we've seen in previous episodes, as well as the Let's Play series, which you should check out if you haven't been watching as of yet. The second ability is purely defensive, indicated by the name, which is the Absolute Defense, which is a defensive stance that blocks incoming damage and reflects some types. And this is another one that you can hold to continue using, though it has no application other than guarding you and quite potentially some people that stand behind you or near you. The third ability that is learned and can be used is the Shield Strike, where Captain America hurls his shield and it bounces off of walls and enemies, similar to what we're all very familiar with what Captain America does when using his shield. And the last one is actually another passive ability, though this one does have an application as to bettering not only him, but the rest of his team, as by activating super soldiers, it increases the attack damage of all team members for a short period of time, and there is a particle effect that goes along with that to kind of indicate how it's working. I've built a synergy team based off of some of the more common characters that can be used to fill out Captain America's skill tree, and you can see that indicated in the stats in the top right-hand corner of that screen. But without further ado, let's jump into an Infinity Rift and watch Cap in action. So today for the Infinity Rift, we are going to jump back into the wave of 200 enemies on the Kree ship, as this will give us plenty of time to showcase Captain America's abilities in use throughout the remedy of this battle. And since I do have a higher level team this time around than what I did when we showcased Black Widow, we should also be able to clear this room without too much difficulty. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what the combat looks like in action. And let's jump into it, showcasing some of Cap's standard attacks. So his standard combo does include kind of a drop kick of his shield, allowing for some ranged effectiveness. And his heavy attack is a standard shield throw, which again, for more ranged effectiveness, works quite well. So the last thing we need to have a look at is his aerial attack, which is a shield slam, and works rather well. So let's jump into his abilities now, starting with the shield slam. It's good for getting in and out of tight places, and for breaking up large groups of enemies. So useful, effective, and we'll jump into his next ability here. Just want to pick up a little more health first. And the next ability, you know, if you find yourself in a bit of a pinch, you can activate the ultimate defense. And you'll see that your opponents can't do anything. It also appears to reflect some of the damage that they deal back at them, which we can corroborate with, I think, one of these. No, it appears to just defend. It must have been from one of our allies attacking that we saw the other damage applied there, I guess I should say. So let's go ahead and get the third ability. And it just kind of sits there and ricochets for a while, but does really good pressure damage. And the last thing that we need to look at is, of course, the Super Soldier's ability, which allows us to rally the troops. And then his ultimate attack, he throws his shield, which further defies physics as it bounces around in a star-shaped pattern, and then deals damage to the opponents that get caught in the crossfire. So another area of effect attack similar to what we've seen with Black Widow and other characters as well. So the ones that you'll probably end up using most are the shield dash, as that applies pretty good pressure and consistent damage. The absolute defense if you do happen to get in a bit of a pinch, but also this shield throw, as long as you aren't taking damage while using it, will just kind of continue to bounce around off of any enemies in its path and comes back once damage is received.
Don't quit on me.
This one's for freedom. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Let's see if we can get these teammates up off the floor here, as we are pretty close to finishing the room.
Don't give up.
Be nice to have a bit of a hand, and I was able to get Nat off the floor there.
Stand down.
But Captain America is a useful member of the team.
Avengers assemble.
And would be worth keeping around for general use in the standard questing or for some of the more difficult rifts, especially those that are under a little bit of a time constraint. And that'll do it in terms of clearing the room. But thanks for hanging out and watching how to use Captain America. I certainly hope that you enjoyed. We will be launching a second character tutorial later today, so keep an eye out for that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Slap a like down on the video if you enjoyed or found this useful, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care.